Hi, this is Mark Riddle, and this is my informative speech, and my audience is my wife and my dog. Everybody else couldn't last. So, if you've ever gone to Disneyland, the Tiki Room, or to a tiki bar, or you've ordered a Mai Tai at a restaurant, or a flaming scorpion bowl for two, do you know that you owe that entire experience to just one man? That's right. Today I'm going to talk about the one man who invented tiki style as we know it today. It all started in 1934 in Hollywood, California, of all places, not in Polynesia, not some far-flung island, but right here in Southern California. 1934 was the end of Prohibition, and a man by the name of Ernest Raymond Beaumont Gant opened his restaurant, Don the Beachcombers. And in that restaurant, he did something that no one had done before in any restaurant. He combined the newly legal rum with fruit juices, fresh fruit juices, and Cantonese cuisine in his restaurant, something completely new that hadn't been done before. He decorated his restaurant with artifacts from all over the South Seas and Asia. In his book, Sippin' Safari, Jeff Beachbum Berry, noted cocktail historian, said, quote, "Tiki bars all owe their existence to one man who, in 1934, single-handedly invented the tiki bar, created faux tropical drink, and spawned a 40-year Polynesian craze." Who was this man, Don the Beachcomber, who we owe tiki style to? Raymond Gant combined all of these things into his restaurant in a way that no one had done before. In a 2021 interview with Tim Glasner, the author of the book The Mai Tai: History and Mystery of the Iconic Tiki Restaurant, Glasner relates a story that Gant's grandfather, upon Gant's graduation from school, offered him money with two options. He could take the money and open his own restaurant, or he could take a chunk of money and tour the world. Gant chose the latter. He toured Asia, the South Seas, and the Caribbean for several years. He collected not only memories, but artifacts, recipes, and contacts for people that would become very useful in his restaurant years later. His combination of adding fruit juices to rums was so new, no one had done this before. He called his drinks rum rhapsodies. Today we call them tiki drinks or exotic drinks. They were called rum rhapsodies. It was so popular, his restaurant, Don the Beachcomber, was so popular. Howard Hughes had a regular bar stool at the end of the bar, and he was a nightly regular. It was the hottest restaurant on the West Coast, and in fact, probably anywhere at that time. Celebrities flocked to get in, and Don himself was a celebrity. He was kind of the Wolfgang Puck of the time. So the end of World War II is what really fueled the boom in America's Polynesian craze. It exploded. The trifecta of the growing middle class, Hawaiian statehood, and accessible air travel helped to propel all things Polynesian into America's mainstream culture in a huge way. In the 1950s, James Michener's Tales of the South Pacific was one of the most popular books, and he recanted the time that he was stationed in the South Pacific in World War II. In fact, he talks about Bali High, the mythical island that's tropical paradise that's just out of reach. So the booming middle class, which was full of servicemen who had taken advantage of the GI Bill, were now able to travel. And Hawaii was a state. Airlines now had regular travel to Hawaii. So people returned with their own tales of the South Pacific. All of this while Don's popularity was growing, and other restaurateurs took notice and copied him outright. Sven Kirsten, in his book of Tiki, talks and shows hundreds of artifacts, if not thousands, of tiki restaurants popping up all over the U.S. There were also tiki-themed apartment buildings, barber shops, bowling alleys, amusement parks, just to name a few. And all of this was bolstered by the restaurant industry, serving Mai Tais, zombies, Chinese food, poo-poo platters. In fact, people were flocking to Hawaii to find tiki, to find out where it came from. It wasn't there. All that was there was white wooden clapboard missionary houses. So Don opened Don the Beachcombers in Waikiki and kicked off a huge boom once again in Hawaii. It was the single most popular restaurant in Hawaii. So Sven Kirsten's book, The Book of Tiki, once again, he says in the 1970s, by that time, America woke up from its collective hangover and tiki was out of fashion. But today we're seeing a resurgence in tiki. In fact, tiki bars are popping up everywhere. Tiki restaurants are popping up everywhere. All things tiki are becoming really popular again. And we owe all of that to just one man, Don Beach, or Ernest Gant. So when you belly up to a thatched bar with figures carved of tikis out of palm wood, you order a Mai Tai or a bowl drink for two, you know that you owe that experience to just one man, Don the Beachcomber. Thank you.